Well, I come on to kind of make part two of this little sewing series. Like I said in my last video, I got that little thing with the laundry taken care of now, and I would say that for all the stuff I keep working on and uploading, it probably be nice to get a few more views and get a little more audience now and then. Maybe even get a little help sometimes, making things to work for the better and for the good. So I'd say yes, for this channel, it's working its way, and I tell you, I'd like to go up some steps sometimes and take it a little further. So that's the kind of thing we've got here. We're going to take care of that in its time, but I say that this is one thing where we're going to work along, and we got a little knot to make in the place where we attach the head to the neck and kind of go a little further along the body here to make that extra little space to do that little extra bit of work, and finally just go along and take things to where they're going to consider them a little place to kind of make the little knots and go a little ways. And oh, I say the work shall kind of tire us out, and oh, I say, life will wear you down sometimes. Oh, to make little knots go through the work and take care of the little teddy bear here and there. And then we got a place down here where we go take care of this little place in where the underside is, and put a little other knot in there to kind of get it right in its place. And so I'd say that there's going to be special places to take a little art now and then we're going to do a little more work here and there. And sometimes you just manage little things the best you can, because it's all you can do. I tell y'all that we got one last place to make a little knot, and it's going to be time to do some stitching along after this. So get a little work done in, put a little work right in our pieces and make them so we're going to see how they will turn out for us. All the better we see and all we do, I say that this is just kind of one little step to getting it a little further. Come on, to make the little bear just what it needs or wants or ought to be. So I say that there's going to be a place where we're going to put a little knot up here at the front of the paw on this other one. Probably try to put it right in, make it so it's going to see a little light and energy and oh, bright little days. I say, oh, what a lot of work. I tell y'all that, well, I say that, you know, we're going to work our way about this, make it so it's going to be a little interesting little teddy bear and come out all blue and stuff. Oh, I say, work shall be to the craft of the matter. And I say it's going to be nice in the future to kind of get to work a long time, have all this stuff out on some traveling markets and have it be seen and sold in places. And it's always just interesting to me how, from what I'm seeing on Instagram, it's like, all these young Generation Z people are following this old man just to look at his art. And yeah, I tell y'all, for me, that is a real blessing, because sometimes, just sometimes, I get a little prejudiced now and then. I look at generations and think different things of them because their times are a little bit different from mine, and because their ways are a little different from me. But we know there's just things over time we'll manage when we take care of what we need. And so I'm just always happy to be on here doing a little recording video and trying to reach whatever audience I can with it, because it's all just going to be the thing it's going to be when we get a little more work put into ourselves and into our reputations. Come to think of it, that's what we see about life. It's one of the good things about life. I've tried to be a lot of things. I've tried to be a musician and so much else, but sometimes it's just the work that really matters. May not say I'd be a professional enough YouTuber to get a good professional audience, but that's okay. I would say if anybody wanted to make a donation, you could click on my Linktree account, which is on my Google page. I would let you all know that I don't ask for it, but if you ever have any desire to help me kind of get ahead in business, or help me make a way, you can probably give to that if you'd like to. I have Venmo and PayPal and Cash App on there, and you'd be welcome to help me out in any of those ways that you could. I'd be happy to have you do it. And most of all, the best thing you can do is give me your prayers, because it's like even in the days when I made the Aspie Tracks articles, the articles about Asperger's that were kind of like to advocate for people with Asperger's and autism, I put on there a little note that said, I ask for no contributions, but only for your prayers. I knew that money wouldn't be good whenever it came to little tracks like that, and it would be hard to know just where it would go. It would have been hard for people to trust, but I'd say whenever it just really comes down to it, you just see what it all means, what it all really comes down to. And as a matter of fact, even whenever I was doing that autism walk not too many weeks ago, some people did what I have a lot of people do. They make donations at that walk just to kind of help me out just a little bit with my ministry and my crafts and my work and what I do. And probably just because I'm on the spectrum myself, and because they got little family members that are on the spectrum, they've got loved ones with autism, and so that's why they're just always willing to help out someone who comes out there and gives lots of inspiration and hope to people, that they might even see what he has in his work and what he's doing to brighten days and nights and worlds. And then we see that there's just a lot of people out there who really have a lot of good support to give to their children over things, because this is a world where we see things in different lights and different standpoints, different points of view, and all the things that come along to make it so we're brighter days and nights and feelings and stuff. And all the work, I say that it was just a little time and ways we make about things, I say. And then come to get the stitchery in, there's a little place here. I think we've already come along the head here, but one little place to take here is, you can see how much I've done, but we're going to take along to this little place on the lower leg too. Try to put a little bit of extra time and work into that. You know, it's always a pleasure to make these videos, and I mean, I'd say when we get out there, we get more work, and I'd say there's little comfort zones we come out of. I heard about old Dar Man, and how he had Catherine Norland in his videos, and how she inspired a lot of people, and a lot of people came following her, and she was on there kind of telling people on her YouTube page that if Dar Man hadn't stepped out of his comfort zone, a lot of people wouldn't have known her and come to her and things. So I'd say that there comes little times in our lives when we step out of that just to kind of make a little reach out to the best we need, best we do. I say that there's a few shows coming up for my next couple of months, and this year, while I'm getting used to my new job, kind of got that to go and have a way to work a little things about that and see how busy we're going to be for times to come. I say that we got the knot right in place and kind of make it so we're going to put another little stitch along here, kind of get it in the place it ought to go, and kind of work along where we kind of make little places where it's going to work itself in, see a little daylight of in us, and oh, I say all this work we see out here, oh, with the sun and the clouds, such a bright day. Always love to show all this scenery whenever it comes to my viewers, and all the things they like to say and see and hear and show. And I tell y'all that there comes times when it just gets to be a lot to advertise at times, and you know sometimes my advertising fees can just go up a little bit, but I'd say that this is just one little bit of work that makes its way about. Over my lifetime, I've tried to campaign in so many things. You might even know, if you go down to the Colonel Sanders Museum in Corbin, Kentucky, you'll see all the things that Colonel tried to do, Harlan Sanders, and all the things like politics and whatnot else he ever tried, and all the ways and things in which he failed, all the things that museum shows you on the wall, and all the things that he worked so much with, and they show you all the little toys that came in the kids' meals over the years. But I say, as for me, there's probably going to be things in life at which I'm going to try all my life, and I'm going to have my failures. I failed at so many other things before I kind of started doing a YouTube channel with videos. There's times when in life and in business we've kind of got to keep people updated about things, and so I do my work about that, work my way through that, and show a little grace and respect and mercy to those who come all around. And then there's just the times when we're going to work a little harder to see what we do, make it so we kind of make our little bright side come along to where, you know, there's a lot to see and show. I get busier these days than I used to be, and sometimes in the fall, it doesn't get as pleasant to get out in places as it used to be. I tell y'all that these days, it's like there's so much to do and so much to learn. Sometimes I say in life, it just comes to the point where You just get to be a different story in places. People see you online and see you on YouTube and stuff, and it'll come to the point where they'll probably be seeing you and they'll be knowing exactly who you are when you come across them. Oh, the ways I say we work at times and all the things we do. Sometimes in our lives we have our little perceptions of things. I've had my misperceptions sometimes, and it's always been good to have people. When I had my old Autistic Rev YouTube account, people would come on to watch. I'd say that there's kind of a lot of reasons I deleted that one. It was kind of old and kind of didn't need it anymore, but got a little interesting other story to tell you. I knew some people who I used to see at the city pool in the summertime who told me about how that they all, they got on YouTube and they typed that name in to look for me, and another one showed up who was using the name, someone who was an actual reverend. So I'd say that this is just one of those little works we have that comes in our hands to show us all just who we are, what we do. Oh, I tell you, a lot of little things in life can measure up to being all we need them to be. I say. Oh, just for a little time and ways to put a little thread through the eye of a needle. And and yes, I say, yes, a thread can go through the eye of a needle. And but in what the Bible even says about a rich man going to heaven is that it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than that. I mean, you know, things have always been around what we've read and what we've heard. And I say the thing of it is that it's never been a matter of whether you were rich or poor. It's always been a matter of whether you trusted Jesus. I say that there's those who are kind of rich in their own ways and wise in their own ways, and we know that sometimes money goes to the good things in life. There are some people who, because they're the richest people, they're the most generous donors to charities and stuff. That was kind of how it always was with Bill Gates and his wife. They were always successful people, and we hear so much more from them these days and how things work about them. But I'd say, for one thing, never been rich in my money, but tell you, I kind of can be rich enough in some other things in life. And there are certain things in life in which I could say I'm rich. There's probably the ways that, you know, you've got things paid off, you've got people who care about you in life, you've got fans who follow you, and I say for all things that things can always be good enough if you're paying attention to where you are and what you're doing, because sometimes I'd say my followers in social media would increase because of the things I'd put out there and post. I'd advertise myself on the forefront at times and just kind of get to where I'd be followed a lot, and even have some ridiculing articles written about me back in the days, which brought along a lot of attention I didn't need. But as for some of these sites I've been with, they've all said different things about me. Some of them, back in my MySpace days in 2006, I was 26 at the time, and kind of came on there and just had a lot of things on there that were kind of strange, but just really trying to reach out there to some people. And, I mean, I'd say probably my articles might have been strange enough that somebody could kind of post something on there on a site called somethingawful.com and share my link and write a little story and ridicule an article about me. And I'd say I deserved it, kind of brought it upon myself, kind of asked for it with all I put out there and with the names I used and the phrases I used. And some of the strange things I said and did. I tell you, it all just kind of brought it upon myself like that. But my account on there didn't last long. I closed it down and kind of got away from it and felt like it was so good to get back to the real world, which was what I had in my own hometown. And just got a little thing or two to pack up here just to kind of get past this video here. And I'd say there's going to be a little moment I'm going to come back on, maybe to show a little other demonstrations as to how we'll do a few other little things. But time for me to close it up now and come back on and see you again later. Thank you again for watching and take care.